Director Smith-Blum.
Well, I had a couple of comments about other things, but we'll get through this math thing first, and then I'll make my comments about a couple of other things. I wasn't on the board when the Discovery Math decision was made. I was on the campaign trail. And how I would have voted on the math tech decision was probably the single most oft-asked question while I was campaigning. While that was not surprising, what was stunning to me was the broad swath of people that were asking the question. It wasn't just a campaign event. It was people coming into my place of business, people stopping me as I took power walks on Capitol Hill, people coming up to me in the supermarket, business owners, attorneys, accountants, current parents, retired teachers, plumbers, electricians. It was very clear to me this summer that everyone has a stake in the math wars. And now, surprisingly, and as Director Mayer said, a very rare occurrence has occurred, and the Superior Court judge has asked the board to take another look at the textbook decision. I understand and completely appreciate the hesitancy of some of my fellow board members to let such a judgment stand. I totally understand the fear of a precedent being set that could potentially affect this body and other boards across our state and the nation. But a quick review of our test scores in our middle schools, because like Director Mayer, I'm equally concerned about the math implementations that have happened in the past 5 years, do not show good results. Beginning with 6th graders in 2006 and 8th graders in 2009, students that have been using the CMP2 curriculum in the last 3, if not 4 years, are showing very little progress. For instance, in McClure Middle School, 8th graders in 2009, after an entire middle school with CMP2, only 33% of the African American students at McClure achieved standard on the WASL. At Mercer Middle School, again, 8th graders, African Americans, only 41% of those met standard compared to 46% in 2006. At Whitman, 8th graders, only 21% of the Latino students met standard compared to 37% in 2006. And at Eckstein, only 43% of the Latino students met standard compared to 63% in 2006. While there are pockets of success, there are far more numbers that are flat or falling, particularly in our free and reduced lunch population and our children of Latino and African American ethnicity. To be aware of these percentages is good, but what it translates into is students, numbers of students, of children that are not having success, that begin a downward spiral that too often result in dropping out. And again, one of the reasons I threw my hat into the ring is because we do have a 30% dropout rate in our schools across our city. And to me, that is completely unacceptable. I know that secretly, in their home bedrooms, every single board member's hair, including Harriam's very few, are on fire about the dropout rate. And I do believe, just using a simple math equation, which I use with no calculator, like is prescribed to 4th and 5th graders in the everyday math curriculum, just a paper and pencil. Last night I determined that at McClure we have 31 students that are probably thinking about dropping out. At Mercer we have another 36 students. At Whitman we have another 27 Latino students, and at Eckstein we probably have 17 Latino students thinking about dropping out. This is a total of just 101 students across 4 sections of our middle schools. And to me, these 101 students are who we need to put names to and figure out a way to address it. There are many in our community that believe our textbook choices across the board do not represent the best practices in math education. The student numbers I just cited might have something to do with their opinion. Regardless of an appeal being filed about the Discovery Math Text lawsuit, I believe we should install an appropriate feedback loop that gives our instructors, our parents, and our tutors that are working with our students in our district an avenue to speak to what is working and what is not. And that does not exist in an organized fashion at this date. As a board, we could then address the data and anecdotal information in a proactive way. Then the tools that we choose for our students could be continually vetted, tweaked where necessary, and reaffirmed where they have been proven to be the right choices. And I also believe that as a board, we should have the strength to embrace our community's input, which almost always enhances and informs any decision we might make. And I have the faith in these fellow board members that I've only gotten to know a bit in the past few months, that they are equally concerned as our community is and will welcome a rigorous review in the very near future of our current math curriculum choices, K through 12.
Thank you, Director Smith-Blum.